Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Just ahead of Craig Button. Attaboy, Rick, throw that headset on.
Oh, could you hear it?
Our guests today are sponsored by Basant Motors. Basant Motors is turning the big 3-0, and they are ready to celebrate with some amazing deals. Find out more at basantmotors.com. Do you want to confirm that news about the Canucks, Zach McEwen?
Chason is at practice. Zach McEwen's been sent to Abbotsford. Common sense tells you if you put 2 and 2 together, you're going to get 4 here. They'll probably announce Chason's
signing
soon.
Okay. As we bring in Craig Button, TSN Scouting Director. How are you, sir?
I am good, Donnie. How are you today?
Very well, very well. I'm all excited for the start of the NHL season. So on the weekend, of course, the big news was the Olli Juolevi trade. First of all, I know he's a local kid. We probably should know more about him than we do. But what are the Canucks getting in Noah Juulsen?
Well, they're getting somebody that has had his own struggles to find a regular role in the National Hockey League, much like Olli Juolevi, a first-round pick by the Montreal Canadiens, and picked up on waivers. I mean, I think that's a pretty good signal about where Noah Juulsen's career is. Can he find his way to the NHL? Perhaps. He's a bottom pair defenseman at best. That's all he is. So, Olli Juolevi, somebody in Florida thinks, let's give him a chance. Somebody in Vancouver says, let's get Noah Juulsen a chance. What they are is what they are. I said on your show last week, Olli Juolevi is a bottom pair defenseman. That's all he is. That's all he's ever going to be. Different than projections where he was drafted, however we want to evaluate it after the fact. Noah Juulsen is in the same boat as Olli Juolevi. Can he find his way in Vancouver? Perhaps, but he hasn't found his way in the NHL at this point. He's been given ample opportunities. Usually when you reach this point of your career, it's make or break. Mm-hmm. And when you haven't made it, you're probably right on the precipice of break.
Craig, refresh my memory here. What did you think of Olli Juolevi back in 2016, the year he was drafted? And what do you think of him now? I think you just touched on that in the wake of his move to Florida.
I don't remember 2016, Donnie. No, I'm kidding.
I know you do.
Easy answer, right? Listen, I thought Olli Juolevi was a real good, solid defenseman. I did think he was a number 1 defenseman. I thought if he reached his potential, he could potentially be a number 2, but I thought he'd be a second pair defenseman. Mm-hmm. And that's how I projected him. I think that clearly he wasn't that. We can look at a lot of different reasons. But when you talk about, when I look back and I look at my notes and I look at my evaluation, what Olli Juolevi had, and I don't think he lacks this in any way. He's got a real good understanding of the game, but he was never able to get his pace of play. Both from a processing point of view and a physical point of view. You can understand the game, but what you have to understand is I got to do things a lot quicker. I got to do things a lot faster at the pace required. He took a lot of hits because he put himself in those positions, and that goes all the way back. And you start to project, and you say, okay, here's the potential. Here's what he's got to improve on. Quite frankly, guys, he's never improved upon it. He's struggled. Because he wants to slow everything down. He wants to, understand sometimes the best play is just the one that gets the puck off your stick and moving up the ice. He wanted to hold on to it and make a play. You get away with that at the lower levels. You do not get away with it in any regard at the National Hockey League level.
Craig, we know you're a big Podkolzin fan, but you just announced your top 10 rookies. Caulfield, no surprise, 1. Zegras, he's so good, 2. No Podkolzin in your top 10. Explain, sir.
There's lots of guys, Rick, that aren't in my top 10. First of all, Podkolzin's not going to put up big numbers. He's not going to get the opportunity to put up big numbers, and even given the opportunity, he's not going to put up big numbers. He's not a big numbers guy. Rookie of the year candidates are guys that are going to get, number 1, opportunity to put up those points, and number 2, have the skill level to do it. I love Podkolzin. I love what he is, much like Nils Höglander. I don't think they're big point producers. So therefore, they're not in my Calder Trophy conversation. Alex Nadelkovic who was in my top 10. I put him in my top 10 only because he was the all-rookie goaltender last year. And, because of the rules, he qualifies again as a rookie because he didn't meet the games played threshold in one season or cumulative. But, playing in Detroit as opposed to playing in Carolina are two completely different things. So despite the fact that he was on the all-rookie team last year as a goaltender, I don't see him being able to do that this year in Detroit because he doesn't have the support around him. He doesn't have the same type of defense, the same type of team. So, you can look at different players, and certainly every fan base, Rick, is saying, what about my guy? What about this guy? Moritz Seider. I have two guys from Detroit, in Lucas Raymond, who's going to play on the top line with Larkin and Bertuzzi, and Nadelkovic at 9, and they're asking me about Moritz Seider. So I'm going to have 3 Red Wings now. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Hey, Craig, Vitaly Kravtsov in New York Rangers, okay, 9th overall, 218. Now he didn't make the team. He wants to trade. Are you sensing these young kids, or is it just not patience, Craig, or now, I didn't make it again and I want to trade? Like, what's going on with these young kids demanding trades at a young age?
I understand, when you use the word demand, I'm going to say this, and I'll say it for a long time. Teams fail players more than players fail on their own. Barrett Hayton, I saw he got sent down.
He got sent down.
Had to play in Arizona as a 19-year-old. Had to play there. Yep. Kravtsov, you draft him high, you bring him over to Hartford. Got to play in the American Hockey League. So we're going to send him back. He goes back to the KHL, and he played really well. He went back and found his game. Much like Jesse Puljujärvi, got to have him in the NHL. He's a failure, right? Goes back to Finland. They put him in a better situation. He's older, right? Rick, Donnie, NHL teams fail players a lot more than players fail on their own. It's a situation where he has been failed. And teams continue. Jean-Luc Foudy, he's going to go play in Colorado. He hasn't even been a top player in the OHL, but we're going to put him in the American Hockey League. I can continue to name it again and again and again. And guess what? Teams don't learn. And so why don't they learn? Number one, they don't want to learn, or they're not smart enough to learn, or they think they're smarter than everybody.
Day one of the NHL season. Passionate, by the way, Craig, and we appreciate that. Day one of the NHL season. How would you describe the state of the NHL right now in the wake of being able to award a couple of Stanley Cups in COVID times?
Well, number one, I would say applaud the NHL for, number one, the return to play in 2020. With completely new environment, uncertain situation, to be able to create an environment, the bubble, and hand out a Stanley Cup and complete that season was significant. Last year brought different challenges. The league showed that they were flexible, and they demonstrated that as things got under a little bit better control in different places. Fans came back in the building. We're returning to an 82-game schedule. We're returning with division play. We're returning with 2 major broadcast partners in the in the United States. There's always there's always going to be something surrounding a league or a team or whatnot. I would say that if I'm Gary Bettman and I'm in his office, this is a really good time in the NHL. They are continuing to move forward. Teams are, have lots, there's lots of parity in the league. We have a new team in Seattle. So I think it's a time to not only celebrate what's occurred since the pause of March 2020, but going into this 21-22 season, I think there's every reason for great optimism for the individual teams around the league and for the league as a whole. Watching ESPN, watching TNT, what they're trying to do. They're not trying to just go a plug and play. We're going to do what everybody else did. They're trying new things. I think it's great. And I think that we're in for an exciting season. And I speak for myself. I am so excited to start to watch again. I don't want to watch the Canadian division where they play each other 9 and 10 times. I want to see the other teams, and 82-game schedule. I'm thrilled.
Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Kraken in Vegas tonight. Craig, thanks for this. Appreciate it.
Always my pleasure, guys. Thanks.
Hey, Craig, hold on.
Okay.
You ripped me last week for pumping Nick Patan's tires. He made the team.
Oh, okay.
Wait a second. I didn't rip you. I love the way I ripped you. I didn't rip you.
Okay, but
I would never. First of all, I have too much respect for you to rip you. Okay. Okay. So that I have to correct you there. But what I did say is, I didn't say Nick Patan couldn't make the team. I said Nick Patan is a depth player. And at the end of the day, I love Nick. I mean, who can ever forget the World Junior moment when he scored the hat trick and his dad came down and threw the hat on the ice? It's one of my most special moments at a World Junior tournament. But Nick Patan, I'm thrilled that he made the team. I still think he's a depth player, and I think that I hope he finds his way. I hope he can find a consistent role with the Canucks. But all I did was give you my critical analysis. I hope I'm wrong in the case of Nick Patan, but never, ever do I rip you, privately or publicly.
You're the best at evaluating players. No one else is anywhere near your ability to do that.
I didn't have a problem with it, Craig. Thank you very much, Craig. I'll talk to you next week.